You are listening to Guidance and Healing from Archangel Metatron, channeled through Ruth Ann Rhine. Today, my dear ones, let us focus upon the current rampant state of strife and turmoil in the world and how you are personally affected. It is sorrowful and tragic indeed so much suffering exists now among so many. There are numerous kind-hearted people who are wishing to help change the world daily through their work and their life focus in living lives of peaceful cohabitation. And yet they exist in fear and dread and worry that the world will continue to become less and less savageable from the irreparable damage made on earth and to all who live upon her. It is evident that their fears are founded upon what they see happening in the world and what they gather through the media's expression and focus of global chaos. This is sorrowful, yes. However, it is not meant for these good people to suffer the suffering they see happening to others. This statement does seem to be of a cold and uncaring nature, when you all carry great compassion for all who live in pain and loss and illness. It is simply true that everyone is connected, and so what happens to one happens to another. However, there is the knowing that all beings have sovereignty and may choose what they wish to experience, regardless of their orientation of how one may live in the world. Some hold beliefs of a religious nature that life on earth is meant to be suffered in order to attain the heights of heavenly repose. Some carry beliefs that the ongoing conflicts that have plagued humanity for eons of time will never change, and so there is hopelessness. These beliefs are heavily carried through the collective mind of past ages, and so unconsciously these beliefs are expressed in their lives as being true and unavoidable. You see, many find comfort in suffering in that they believe this is a path to salvation. Some feel they are not deserving of peaceful living when so many are struggling to survive. Although the many do not wish to suffer, their subconscious minds hold the blueprint for these belief systems, and so they are entrenched in this experience long held in the mass accumulation of mental constructs that form one's way of being in the world. Although many live lives that are heart-centered and caring of everyone, they still hold these unconscious belief systems within their psyche. This creates the manifestation of holding to the experience of suffering on the earthly plane. It is well and good to be aware of the mental limitations people hold that inhibit their joy and peace in existing on this planet. It is well and good to release old paradigm belief systems in order to hold greater and greater loving awareness of living life harmoniously with new perspectives and new ways of being in the world. How does one achieve this release, this clearing of long-held, limiting beliefs that obstruct the truth of one's being? One may achieve this in many ways. One way is to simply see the world with the clarity of new eyes that envision a life of peace for all. To hold in one's heart and mind the future vision of peaceful cohabitation is to simply live in the present moment, without experiencing the encumbering condition of pain among those suffering due to their unconscious behaviors. It is not difficult to send love, to send light in compassion for the plight of others. However, to suffer the grief another is experiencing is indeed not only not helpful, yet contributes to the suffering at large. You see, when you feel grief for the woes of the world, you are vibrating at that frequency. You are not uplifting their experience into elevated perspectives. When your heart breaks due to sorrowful and sometimes tragic circumstances, you are human, yes, and you care deeply for those who have experienced unfortunate events. This is when it is most beneficial to transform your sorrow into compassionate action through sending your love and your light into these situations to those affected. This is compassion, and compassion is an expression of deep caring through loving response to trouble and turmoil around you. When you respond with compassion, you feel love and intend healing of that circumstance. And when you call for assistance from divine beings, your healing intent is magnified 1,000-fold. This is beneficial in that it uplifts the vibratory nature of the event and those affected. This is beneficial in that it actually helps, rather than simply reacting with emotional response that attunes to the frequency generated from the event. To remain in one's heart is to remain centered in the loving response to these external circumstances that create much suffering for those entangled in the conflictual situation. It is for them to awaken to their own choices that brought them into this suffering and this chaos. It is for them to benefit from your elevated perspective of loving light and intent to send healing. Do not feel guilty for not suffering, for it is for your highest good to live life in peace and in joy without experiencing the pain of another. It is for the highest good of all that you always move into heart-centered compassion, sending light and prayers to anchor divine frequencies that will uplift and remedy the long-held traumatized perspectives of living in this world. And so it is. My dear ones of great heart, suffer no more. Live in your truth of joy and love, and share this emanation without need of suffering the plight of others. And so it is. This is of greatest benefit to yourselves and to those you wish to assist. Now is the time to exist in the world as you envision it to be in the new paradigm. Your conscious presence creates this reality for one and all, and so it is. Thank you for listening to Words of Wisdom from Archangel Metatron. Please feel free to share this message.